Father, in the name of Jesus, grateful we are for another day's journey, another opportunity to come to your house and meet with your precious people. Be with us on tonight as these moments draw to a close, and allow our coming to inspire us so we're more faithful to you. In the name of Jesus, we do pray. Amen. Amen. All right.
Ready?
Yes.
3,
Indeed.
2, 1.
How good the Lord is. Give him a hand clap of praise. Amen. Grateful again for another day's journey. Grateful again for another day's journey. And thank you for being here and braving the cold weather. Will it ever get warm again? Sooner or later, turning our favor. All right, Lord have mercy. But it's cold everywhere. It's not just cold here. I've seen and heard some of my friends across even Texas planning to maybe do service online, because all down in Georgia and Texas and stuff, we're expecting some ugly weather all across the country. I feel better that it's cold everywhere. If we got to have it, let's share the pain with everybody. It will be up to 14. Lord have mercy. 14 inches. Lord have mercy.
It's not supposed to come this far north.
Oh, no.
All right.
Our phones are still settling in.
We shall see, we shall see. But I'm glad tonight you're here.
But we're not going to get them.
I'm glad we'll see who the real prophets are. Because they be guessing. We'll see if the Lord is with them or if they're making it up. We shall see. Tonight I want to really take the temperature, because we've had a wonderful, in my estimation, time of teaching, and much of what you heard and what I heard kind of gels with where we've been and what we have been sharing. So tonight I wanted to do primarily, one thing I want to talk about Reconstruction some more eventually. I want to talk about that. But I also want to get feedback on what it is that transpired on Sunday, both Sunday morning and also Sunday evening, with our guest presenter and with your pastor. So I'll run over some of the questions that Sister Mary guided us through, and there are probably 3 or 4 that we didn't get to just because time was far spent. But before I do that, let me just kind of open it up and get a sense of what you saw, what you heard, what you experienced on Sunday when we had our dialogue about things pertaining to race. So if you had, well, who wasn't here on Sunday? Maybe I'll do it that way. Okay, so everybody was here. Good. Talk to me then if you were here. Let's start with Sunday morning first. Any reflections on Sunday morning, on that experience? Yes, sir. All right, I want to hear you. Now, I want you to talk loudly, because I want them to be able to hear you up here.
Okay, all right. Well, basically, there was things, but I'm 49 years old, still not gonna change. No
Okay.
matter what it is. It's my essence.
Okay.
It's not gonna change.
All right. Very good.
No matter how you talk about it, how you spit it, it's not gonna change.
Okay.
Until something really drastically happens. And unfortunately, throughout life, that's how things change. When people lose their lives, and then people start to pay attention. But it shouldn't have come to that.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that's usually how things change.
We hear that. We hear that. Thank you. Someone else reflect on Sunday morning. Yes, ma'am.
I can't remember all of it, but either I don't remember when they were saying that Reagan was a big part of different situations dealing with us.
Yeah, the presidency of Ronald Reagan,
Yeah.
in many ways ushered in a lot of the difficulties that we have seen around issues of race and color. Now, Ronald Reagan has become, in this new era, somewhat of a champion of the Republican Party and of right-wing republicanism. But I was well alive and cognizant of affairs during the presidency of Ronald Reagan. And what I remember about him is very different than what some of these pundits on television say. It was clear from a black person's perspective that Ronald Reagan didn't care that much about black people. Didn't care about them, didn't care for them. And his policies reflected that. That is something that I don't have to read the history books to find out. It's something I lived through. I think the first president that I had the opportunity to vote for was Jimmy Carter, which would have been probably 1980 or so. So, I can go back a while, and some of y'all, I was a puppy in 1980 compared to some of y'all, because some of y'all have histories that go back further than that. So you can fact check me. Do you remember Reagan being a favorite of many black people, and of him advancing any issues relative to us?
I don't necessarily remember it, but I do remember Reverend always telling me that he was not for us in ways that you think.
Yeah.
He was not.
Yes.
I remember when he fired all the air traffic controllers.
Yes. Busted that union.
Yes, he did. A lot of
Yeah.
people lost their homes and everything.
Yes.
And then he wanted to make these black women that were receiving welfare poster children.
Welfare queens. Yeah. Yeah. They were lazy and shiftless, and the face of poverty was the face of black people and black women, and that's, we got to get these lazy bums off of the public till and get them, to work. We're not taking care of them, that sort of thing. Anyone else remember that era? At least Jimmy Carter, he was a decent man. Wasn't a bad president, just I think what got him in trouble was some soldiers who were in
Was in Iran.
It was somewhere, I want to say either in North Africa or Middle East, Lebanon or somewhere, ended up getting murdered. I think they were Marines. And after that, his presidency, and I think there was hostages that were taken and that sort of thing. And that kind of caused his presidency. He was seen as being weak after that on the international stage. So somebody who came in and said, we're gonna blow them the smithereens, you know, that kind of mentality was what America wanted at that point in time, no matter how much other good he was doing. That's what I can remember. Right? Anyone else? All right. Now it's only us here, so you can be honest in terms of your critique. How many of you all have heard the level of critique from a Caucasian brother, like you heard on Sunday, or did that surprise you a bit? That he would be honest, direct, and would confront, issues head on, and didn't mix his words. Was that a breath of fresh air for you all to see and hear?
I wasn't surprised.
Okay, why not?
Because I was raised with white folks, so
Okay.
I wasn't surprised.
And the kind of white folks that he represented were the kind you were raised with?
Yes.
Okay.
I went to church with and went home with and all that. So.
Okay. Can you order some of them and maybe bring them to Middletown? Huh? I wish we had them next door.
Yeah, because I didn't experience racism until I started working.
Okay? All right. Yes, ma'am. I will not question your experience. Thank you for sharing it.
The people that were like him, spoke freely like him, most of those that were in Middletown are gone.
Yeah.
They're passed away. There used to be like maybe 10 or 12 of them that were always involved in Martin Luther King Day, stuff like that, but they're much older and not here anymore.
If my math is correct, I saw, of course, the speaker, Reverend Scotty. I saw, and I saw a sister who looked like she might be Italian, but they've included the Italians in the white race. So I guess I got to count her, whoever she was in that number. So out of the hundreds of people who were there, either our cousins didn't get the notification, or they just decided that that was a black thing, a black event, and they weren't coming.
Dr. Ballard, maybe this is what Sister Keith is talking about, but years ago, this has been going on for quite some time, this particular program.
Yes.
And years ago, yes, it did involve more whites than what you saw. I mean, a lot of whites. And I can't say, I wouldn't go out on a limb and say what has happened. I have my ideas, but it wasn't always like that. It was so well attended that you could barely find a seat.
Right.
Okay.
And but I do want to go back to this young man. Now I don't want to mispronounce his name. Is it Gaza?
Yes, close enough.
Okay.
Joe Goza.
Goza?
That's what I call him, and he answers.
Okay.
Right. he never corrected me in the 20 years that I've known him. So I think Joel goes on.
But I want to say, I do have a few friends, Caucasian white friends who are from that same mold.
Okay.
Not all of them, but I do have some. And we have some very courageous conversations about a lot that's going on today. But back to him now, that kind of conversation that he had with us, I wonder, and you may know, how does he carry that same conversation with his race?
Yes. Yeah,
How
good
does
question.
that go? Do you know?
Good question. I do. I've seen him among us, and of course, if he were like Simon Peter and said one thing when Jews were there, and then said something else when Gentiles were there, I would do like the Apostle Paul and confront him to his face, is what Paul said he did to Cephas. Okay? So, your question is a great one, because code switching and changing your talk based on who's listening is something that often happens. But when you put things in writing, it's kind of hard to say you didn't say that when you write a book. And the book that he has written and articles that he has written has the same degree of seasoning and sizzling as what you saw and as you heard. So, he's authentic, and those are the things that he believes. Now, I would be interested in knowing what it has cost him.
Does he pastor a church?
He does not pastor a church. In fact, now he was the assistant to the pastor of a church that was black, absolutely black, in Fifth Ward, Texas, when I met him. He was a college student who was being mentored by a black pastor there who was well respected and regarded in Houston, Texas, and Joel was his student, and in many ways a spiritual son to him. Joel has not been a senior pastor, and in fact, how he was received and how he executed, he's 10 years since he's been able to do that. He has done primarily writing the last 10 or 12 years, and not what we saw on Sunday in the two services. So he was reminded of what it is I believe God has called him to do when he had the opportunity to be loved and embraced by you deep chocolate people. So I think in some significant ways, what that did for him was rekindled. Now, every Sunday, he is a member, he and his family, of an African American church in Louisville. So all of his adult life, he has been, by choice, a part of black churches. So that explains in part his black sensibility, because he's comfortable with black people.
I was noticing that how the kids they weren't afraid of anybody, anybody said something to them. It's just some things you can pick up on, and I was wondering, did he pastor a black church?
Yeah.
But he is in the midst of it. So.
Absolutely. And he has had leadership, responsibility, and yes, he behaved as a pastor, but he's not been the senior pastor of a black congregation. He has been on staff. at black congregations and in black churches.
You
Yes.
know, Pastor, listening to him talk worried me,
Okay.
because the first thing that passed my mind was somebody will kill him.
Okay, so you were concerned for his safety.
Yeah, and so then I prayed for him,
Okay.
because especially this day and age and how bad things are,
Yeah.
for him to be as forceful as he is, and with him telling the truth, he's not sugarcoating it.
Yeah.
These other folks ain't gonna appreciate that.
Yeah, that's certainly a challenge, and you have to be courageous to have those kinds of conversations and to stand your ground. But every prophet in every age takes that risk. Everyone who dare speaks truth to power, take that risk. So you just have to decide that your life is in God's hands, and you do everything you can to protect yourself. And prayer is certainly appropriate for he and his family. Oh my God, we had a chance to spend some time around the dinner table, because Joe was single when I knew him. And I remember when he and Melissa were courting, when he found in that sort of thing. But the kids are extremely intelligent kids. I mean, articulate and intelligent beyond their age. Beyond their age. And it was funny, as he was giving his presentation on Sunday evening, his daughter, Naomi, hollered, "Preach, Daddy, preach!" I said, "Yeah, she been in a black church." She knows how to encourage the preacher. Yeah, so, yeah. But thank you for praying for him, and you're right. You take your life in your hand when you do this kind of work.
And when you think about back during the civil rights era, there were many people, many ones who were like him, who took that responsibility on.
Yeah.
Their lives were threatened. They were, something happened to them. Sometimes it didn't. But way back there, people were taking that on. And that's that community part of it. It wasn't just us.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, you opened the can of worms. Yeah, you have opened the can of worms. I'm going to throw the question out just so it can be in the back of your mind. But I do want to raise from what you said this question. What price are you willing to pay to be an ally of some other group? Because there are plenty of groups who are in distress. No bigger one than ours now. Let's not get it twisted. Nobody's in more peril in America than black folks. But there are other folks in groups who are in trouble. And what price are we willing to pay to be allies to those who need support? Case in point, if you look Somalian in Minnesota, you get pulled over for being, a lighter hue of black. You get thrust to the ground. You get loaded up by folks with masks and guns. You get slapped around, and you get sent somewhere for just looking like Sister Vaughn. All right? Now, of course, I'm blessed, and I don't have the same problem that Sister Vaughn had. I look like I belong to a tribe in West Africa. But when you have less melanin and a certain facial kind of feature in a certain area, Now it's more risky.
Yeah.
I have my first time to see paraded across the screen someone who looks dangerous who's white. You don't look like you're an American. You don't look like you belong here. We're sending you to Switzerland. We ain't seen that yet, right? Only thing we see are people of color who are being treated that way. Now Somalians are Africans. What are we willing to do in order to come aside as an ally to somebody else who's in trouble? Testing 1, 2, 3. All right, I'm going to throw this out and then I'm going to let you all make your comments, ask your questions. Where I'm from, in Texas. Texas is northern Mexico.
Yeah.
So there are more Mexicans than blacks. What are we willing to do in order to be allies to other folk who are hurting? My last question. What are they willing to do to be allies of ours? Because sometimes when you take in the woman, folks don't hear your screams. But then when they get hit, they want everybody running to their rescue. Testing 1, 2, 3. Is this thing on?
Yeah.
All right. I saw a hand here and I saw one there.
I want to say Renee Goodman, she gave her life for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, if the story that we're hearing is one that can be believed, she was there as an observer. And by observing, she would blow whistles, she would bump the horn, and try and warn people, ICE is here. Y'all get somewhere else so you can be safe. All right? Now, another thing that I don't think makes her less human than the rest of us, but I've heard folks say in order to discount her, well, you know, her problem is she's a lesbian.
She has a wife.
She has a wife. She had a husband, but this 6-year-old is not by her husband. She had her lesbian lover, or 2 moms. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, we've seen this before. All right, he's not an upstanding citizen. He has a drug habit. That's why the police was on his neck for 1 minute and 46 seconds. Are you here? Same play. And the play is find some way to discredit the victim. Huh? Find something. Lawless. They're lawless, I tell you. They're over here and they cut the line. That's why they shouldn't be in this country. If they want to come, they need to come the right way. Are you here? What are you willing to do? What would God have you to do to be an ally to somebody so when you're in need, somebody will come alongside you? Because if you do nothing, when your turn comes, ain't going to be nobody there to help you. Yes?
Having served in the military in other countries,
Yes.
I think a lot of Americans are very arrogant and cocky.
Okay.
Especially knowing the fact, I'm not saying I've seen everything, but I've seen real poverty.
Yeah.
Real poverty.
Yeah.
I think also the arrogance of Americans, black, white, whatever you want to call it. There are rules and there are regulations. Whether we see people get shot or what have you, as being a security incident and a police officer. Being honest with you, had I been in that situation, I would have done the same thing he has.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've been almost hit by cars in the military, being overseas. also having to check for bombs on vehicles. Not knowing what a bomb looked like, 18, 19, 20 years old. So it's kind of a sticky situation with me because I understand where it's coming from. But I also had to learn when I was in the military. I had a little badge on me when I was in Kuwait and Saudi Arabia. It was an area. Because if I got lost, we could think it was going to me.
Mm-hmm.
So there's rules and regulations. And we're in that country doing things they don't like. Things are going to happen to you. People got to quit being naive. And then also, having that badge on me, you didn't realize how vulnerable I am.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had an opportunity to become a private security over there after I got out of the military. And that I was tax-free, great money.
Mm-hmm.
But the only reason I didn't do it, you ain't got no backing by the U.S. government. You're over there as a private citizen. And I'm trying to tell you all over here. Trust me, I know this country is supposed to be what it is. You can't have too many pockets of certain things take place because that's when things get out of control. And believe it or not, the military does things. None of you all know that you have no thing you're not aware of. How do we think we're able to walk around here? Have no bombs going up, no IEDs, none of that stuff. So I understand what people are saying, but then you also have to look like there are people with casualties of war. And that's sad to say that because I could have been one. There's times I had to draw my weapon as a 19 and 20-year-old on a person from the Middle East. I would have been justified in doing what I had to do. Yeah. But I didn't because I had to work abroad. That still didn't say I didn't have to what going to do it if I needed to. So I think people, even myself, you're not ever been in that situation, you don't know what you do. And it's always you're playing what they when you want a quarterback.
Yeah. Who put him in that position? What is the requirements to be an ICE agent?
On the gun.
18. And be willing to shoot. No real training whatsoever. In fact, the rumor is, which is probably true, what are these boys called?
Proud Boys.
Proud Boys.
KKK.
Yeah, those are the fellas who were let off the hook.
The ones he pardoned.
Yeah, off the hook for storming the Capitol.
Yeah.
That's why the mask on the face is permitted. Whole different set of rules. This is not law enforcement. In fact, the police, the state police, the city police are saying we don't want them, nor do we need them in Minnesota. This is a political act in order to make a point that's happening. It started, we're going to Chicago, we're going to clean up Chicago. We're going to LA, we're going to clean up LA. We're going to Washington, D.C. We're going to clean up. Now, there's problems in every city, but crime was down.
That's right.
No justification for this other than black mayors, black cities, black leadership, get them Negroes under control. Show them who's in charge. Make America great again. That's what's behind this, not law and order. So you put somebody out there who's already Billy Bad ass. You put him out there, you give him a gun. And then you say to him, I'm going to indemnify you. And the rights I have to do whatever I want, I'm giving to you. So don't be nice to him. When you put them in, rough them up, son. Same person. Same person. So now you got somebody at the top who doesn't respect law, but will abuse law in order to get a certain outcome. That's what we're up against now. Yeah, cars can be very dangerous. You can kill a person with a car, but to go from park to trying to get away because different instructions are being given to you by different persons, and then get shot at 6 times. And to take 4 hits to the head, a better trained person wouldn't have done that. Wouldn't have done that. Yes, ma'am.
Just to piggyback off what Brian was saying, that is also, when we look at the police,
Yeah.
and their training.
Yeah.
In particular, when you have people who come from the military into the police.
Yeah.
In the military, they're taught you shoot first. You're not asking questions.
Well,
Well,
go ahead.
okay. And then, but when they come back and in civilian life now, there's no temper. They don't temper that training so that you remember you're not at war per se. You're back in civilian neighborhoods and things like that. So how do you now? I don't know what's around the corner and when a police officer has to go and answer a call or what have you. I mean, some neighborhoods, you know, and they don't have to, they ain't necessarily black or Hispanic or anything like that. You don't know what you're walking into.
Right.
But to have that quick wherewithal that everybody is not a criminal, and that you have to use a different kind of mental aptitude or whatever to be able to get the situation back under control and really understand, is my life in danger or I just need...
Or my ego.
Yeah. Like when you shoot, do you always have to shoot to kill? Do you just slow someone down? I mean, a bullet's gonna slow you down in the leg too.
Right.
Yeah.
The whole policing mechanism, and I hate to say this, but this was not a police issue this time. This is ICE.
Yeah. And
This is ICE. This is federalized thuggery.
Yeah.
It's what it is. These are not folks. If you want to be an officer in Middletown, I'm assuming you have to go through the academy. In order to get into the academy, in most places, you've got to have at least 2 years of college. All right? They figure you got to have some education. I don't know if that's the requirement here, but back home, that's the requirement. 2 years of college, academy. If you have had military training, you get some points for that. Because handling a weapon is, and clearance and that sort of thing, those kind of hurdles you can get over pretty easily. So to work in law enforcement, you got an inside track. But you're right, training is critical. Training is critical. And when you're trained in such a way, now what blows my mind is that we're seeing a difference. This is a white woman being shot in the face by a white man to protect white supremacy. That's kind of new. Because usually we have cooperation. Now this thing is so until, no, in order to have power, we'll kill our own women in order to have it. That's different for me.
It seemed like they could have shot the time if he wanted to shoot something. Shoot the time and the car don't stop.
There was no threat. She's trying to get away and go somewhere else, is what I saw.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
That's what I saw. There was no threat. It wasn't like I would do. I would make the decision, well, okay, I'm going to die here, so if I'm going to die here, let me take some folks to hell with me. Or heaven, wherever it is I'm going. That's not what we saw there. We saw somebody trying to get home to their babies. Not somebody trying to run somebody over to be mean. That wasn't what we saw. Yes, sir.
I think also, too, the media, and I hate to say this about black people and white people do. The media spin one thing, and you think it's this, when you go back and look, it was not actually that. Now, I'm speaking once again from a person's experience of having law enforcement training and security policing training. Like Sister Melissa said, there is a difference. Contrary to popular belief in the military, it's a lot stricter when it comes to shooting someone, or even shooting someone. You have to have intent, capability, and opportunity. Anytime you don't have one of them that knows this, you murder somebody. Now, from my training, he had all three of those things permitted to do what he did. And granted, I don't like it. It don't feel good. But by the training that gets you off in the realm of the military laws, If the person not have the intent, the fact she's putting on the car, that is intent. The capability, she had that car. The opportunity was there in the present. But it doesn't make sense on the realm of a person who may not have had the type of training or the wherewithal. But when it comes down to law within the military confines of it, as being a law enforcement there, those three things have to be there to permit you to do what you need. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't understand it to the fullness of what people who may not have had that experience, but a person who's had that training, he was justified. And it don't sound good. Even when I see black people with the police get shot at kids, a lot of times I see the murder, I see it. But then sometimes I gotta pull back and say, hey, I'm telling you.
What were they doing?
Exactly. If you put a gun on the cop,
Yeah.
you trying to charge the cop with a car, I'm telling you right now, you all know what's gonna happen. And there ain't gonna be no questions asked, and we got to be honest with ourselves. You know that's what's gonna happen.
Except that didn't happen in this case. That's the difference. In this case,
That's right.
we don't have police. We have militia. We don't have police here. We don't have anybody that we can even check his credentials or his training. None of that. We have somebody who's behind a mask, who's been empowered by the president to police in a domestic environment. And we have the police saying, let's be clear, wasn't us. We disagree with what happened. The chief of police of every department, sheriff, city, and state.
And even police kill people like that too.
Yeah.
So therefore, they're hypocrites for what he just said, because they do the same thing. Right?
But police are empowered in domestic environments to do what they do. ICE is making it up as ICE goes. And that's the difference.
Because you don't have a phone in one hand and your pistol in the other, your gun in the other hand, and just waiting for something to happen. That ain't training. That's not training. You like this, and then all of a sudden now you
I know what my eyes saw, and I'm willing to look at other angles. I know what my eyes saw. And my eyes saw without any commentation by anybody else. That was wrong. And,
Dr. Ballard, they have these masks on,
yeah.
and we really can't see who they are. But I did not understand today. I think it was when I was listening to the president, and he said most of ICE are Hispanic.
No, they ain't.
I don't know if I saw that today.
No, they ain't. No, they ain't.
Okay, but what I'm saying,
Yeah.
Ricky, I know, but what I'm saying, he said that, but how do you know that?
So if you heard the president say that, you heard him say that, let's go along with it, and let's ask some deeper questions. Why would they hire primarily Hispanics if they're ICE working on the behalf of immigration? Because Hispanics can speak the language that Hispanics speak. Okay? The culture. So, the folks who rounded us up looked like us too.
Yeah.
The folks who had the assignment to put stripes on our backs looked like us too. So that's an old play being ran there. It's not us. Their own are doing it. We just set it up. So the outcome would be indefensible. Or we could try to defend it by saying they can't be racist because They're Latinos too.
Right. Yeah, that's what's up there.
So it's a catch-22 position. Let them begin to shoot white people and then see how the rhetoric change. Let us begin to shoot white people like they have shot us and watch how the rhetoric change. So now if he's talking, he's probably not telling the truth. It's probably the opposite.
Not Trump.
It's probably the opposite of what he's actually saying. And a Hispanic person shooting a Hispanic person unlawfully is still wrong. I don't care what color you are. If you're doing wrong, it's still called wrong. That's my thought. That's my thought. I say this. We cannot have folks who are more courageous to speak on our behalf than we are ourselves. So I purposely, when we talked about and thought about who it is we would bring, and he's not the only one I know. I know a handful of others who would be as erudite and as articulate and as courageous as what we heard. And those voices, combined with ours, need to be heard around this country. But they need to be our allies. We need to be our spokespeople. They need to come alongside us. We've got to be on the front line for ourselves.
I still heard of Jasmine, what's her name? Jasmine Sullivan.
The singer?
Jasmine Crockett.
Crockett, Congress.
Jasmine Crockett, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, from Texas.
Yeah.
Love her. I absolutely love her. She's a bad girl.
Bad girl, yes she is.
She's courageous in all the right ways. She's a young person who makes us proud. So I love Jasmine Crockett.
Another one, yes, you pray for.
We got to pray for her. Her pastor, Freddie Haynes, is somebody I know. And he's a brilliant black man. You know, so she comes from a good tree. From a good tree. All right? Yes?
You know, when we look at all this and you know, where we're willing to sacrifice or the work that needs to be done to improve our quality of life perhaps. We're talking about trying to find equality and fairness.
Yes.
And, you know, again, getting to the table so that we can start affecting some of the systemic issues or the systemic issues that exist.
Yeah.
I think we all know that. The question is, and I guess for me, and I never really thought about it before until really this year, is that I don't really want to go to another MLK program and all we're doing is singing the same anthem and we're not reporting on what we've taken a year and these are some of the things we've done.
Mm-hmm.
This is the policies. These are the policies we have impacted. These are the children we have reached out to.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we just wait another year, we just waste another 365 days.
Okay.
You know, and it's, you know, when he first came in, because when I made my slide for the PowerPoint, and I saw that he was white, I said, "Oh, he white? Oh, okay."
Yeah. I didn't announce that, did I? Yeah, I kind of kept that. I did not announce that. And I didn't announce it because I wanted to see if our white brethren in the alliance would come. And I didn't want black folks to stay home because they'd figure that a white person don't have anything to say to them about justice, about rights. So I knew what color he was, but I just didn't reveal it.
You know, after he started talking, and it's like, you know, but it's kind of like, in the back of my mind, I said, well, what you saying is so on point, and okay, I get it. But the problem, the difference between me and you, I can't assimilate back into whatever goes with the flow. Right?
Sure.
Whereas you can, so you have a choice.
Yes.
I don't.
Yes.
But I was still listening because it was still authentic.
Yeah.
It was still fact-based and truth in what he was saying.
Yeah.
And some things I've heard from my grandparents and my parents, I was like, okay, you studying too, And what do we do in our own community? I wish we could just build a school and that we would teach our own kids that you could be, but it doesn't matter. You can be black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Indian, East American Indian, whatever. But when you come to this school, you will be edified.
Okay.
You do have a rich history, and we will do the research to recognize how Asian Americans and Native Americans, how they have contributed to the America we know. Because just because I want to celebrate myself and who I am and my culture, I don't want to knock someone else's because we all got here together.
Absolutely. And I think we need to say it loud and, without any hedging. The best people in the world are people who love people, no matter their color. So if we come away with this, that it's a zero-sum game. They're all evil, we're all victims. They're all bad, we're all good. If we come to that conclusion, we're really missing it.
That's right.
I have met some white folks in my life whom I absolutely love because they are wonderful human beings. Okay? And that's fine. My experience is mine and yours is yours. Now, I didn't say that's everybody.
Right.
But I would be wrong to say ain't nobody.
Right.
Okay?
I just haven't I understand that.
And that's all right. You have experience, and it's okay for you to stand 10 toes down based on your experience. And I'm not telling you you're wrong. I'm just telling you I have been fortunate enough to meet people who have souls and who are fully human of every color, including the white race. Okay?
That's how he was raised, though. Down there in South Florida, and this race against that race, and on.
Yeah, that's true in South Middletown. That's not just in South Florida. That's true right here. But the one who is at the bottom, at the expense of those who's on the neck, we have to be clear about who the victim is and who the perpetrator is. Now, when feet come off necks, and when opportunities abound, and when we come to the conclusion that there's enough for all of us to share, and all of us to be included, that's the beloved community that MLK talked about. And the I Have a Dream speech emanated from. But we can't get there as long as we're pitted one against the other. And right now, the one who's doing the pitting is the perpetrator who's on our neck. So we got to get them off before we can get to that place.
Dr. Ballard, for me, the afternoon service was good. I enjoyed them. But the morning service that we had here, to where I wish we knew one more that would that would talk like he talked and say that he's honest, that we could have had, that would have been more of an afternoon service.
Okay.
Maybe because of the questions or because of the dialogue that went on.
Yes.
So for the morning, I wish more people could have heard it, black and white.
Yes.
And it hasn't been that long ago, as Sister Carol was saying, that we used to have it and it would be mixed. Because we've had it even white church before. One downtown by the library.
Okay.
And it would be full
Yeah.
of white and black.
Wow.
So, I don't know. I enjoy.
Was that prior to Obama?
The what?
Was the white and black mix good support of churches? Was that before the Obama presidency, during the presidency? And of course, I know what's going on here after. But I mean,
was the MC of a couple of them there, so yes.
yeah, I'd be real interested to know what years those were, because I'm sorely disappointed
Yeah, it hasn't been that long ago.
that more black folk wasn't at the event Sunday evening. And I agree with you. I enjoyed Sunday morning. You know, the dialogue.
Right.
I enjoyed that format. You know, I did, and we'll do something like that again.
But I hope it be to where it can be on the stage, like
Yeah.
I say, and more people will be involved.
Yeah.
And if they are persons, they can present them too.
I had thought about bringing the young lady who was running for public office, Larry, and I think I may have even mentioned that openly somewhere, to have some youth participation and involvement. I think somebody like Scotty would have been also good to, if you're going to expand a panel and dialogue in that way. Yes, that certainly would have been good as well. But I think for a first time doing something like that on a Sunday morning, yes, I think that could work more often, because then you can sit and think through the responses and participate, you know, and have enough time so folks in the audience can participate as well. So thank you for the feedback. I just wanted to kind of debrief what it is I intended to do. We'll do maybe next week, but thank you for the feedback. And thank you all. Yes, ma'am.
I want to say something about what Sister Lisa said.
Okay.
About the schools.
Yes.
As she was talking, me being a lunch lady, and also with Sister Pat, all these faces went through my memory. Because Middletown High School is like a melting pot of all the nationalities that were there. Not only that, this year they have a black principal. So in order for them kids to be taught what they need to be taught, who is the school board? Who runs the school board? Because I have no idea who it is though.
Yeah, they're certainly voted upon by the populace.
Yeah.
My guess would be that the school board today.
Terry Ramsey is on the school board.
Okay.
The man that's the president of the school board been there for 10 years or better.
Okay.
He just keeps, and some of them are new.
Yeah.
But a lot of them get elected in, and then the next year they decide it's not what they thought it was, so they replace them. But it's something you have to be willing to dig into to know what the school board is.
Can I say this? We have tried to get other folks, to let other folks, to pay other folks to do what we ought to be doing for ourselves. And it's our responsibility to educate our children. Every church in this city has the obligation to educate our children and not just make that a public school responsibility. Okay? Public school, they're trying to keep peace and not have the school burned down while they're in it. Their hands are full They have to be social workers. They have to be police. They have to be preachers. They have to be educators and prison guards. All at the same time. It's impossible for all of that to go on and then give people a decent education. So what we can do is use the space we have. See, I can say some things that a school teacher can't say. I have some liberties that a school superintendent would get rid of me if I were an employee of school and I said, sit your down. See, I can say that. But I can't say that to somebody's 14-year-old. At least most school districts won't let you do that. Now, that might be the most effective way to get him to sit down. But they have restrictions on them. Whereas I can say, look, this behavior is going to end up costing you your life. There's a better way. Why are you acting crazy? Why aren't you applying yourself? Why do you not know your phonetics? You're like 13 and you read on a second grade level. Why is that all right with you? You come in every day smelling like weed. Are you smoking it or is it being smoked on you? School can't do that. But I can. And you can. And we need to get them in an environment where we can help strip some of this so when they go to school, they go prepared to learn. And you're right. We got plenty of stuff that we need to look at ourselves for. Because not all our problems are being created by somebody up there, who's white and more all-powerful. Some of the problems we have is the man right in the mirror. And we can't blame white folk for that. Huh? We got to look at ourselves and say, something wrong with us. And then we have to say to our neighbors, something wrong with you. We're not going to let you do that because our community deserves better. And we're going to police one another. We're not going to let you go in that house and molest that girl who's 7. And you walk around here like that's okay. We turning you in. Are you here? You ought to be in jail. We calling the police on you. Because she deserves better than that. She deserves a life. We can do that. Y'all? That ain't white folk doing something to us. Let's doing something to ourselves. So, a good prophet will tell the truth on everybody. When it's David, thou art the man. When it's the people, y'all in trouble with God. If you don't change, He's going to whoop you. And that's what we're supposed to do. And any preacher worth his salt does that. Now, may not be fully balanced, but it ought to be done. Yeah, I'm done. Put your hands together. Yes?
I don't know who.
Cut these cameras off.
It's all.
All right.